June of 2020, PlayStation held the Future of Gaming showcase to show off a slew of major games coming to their platforms. Hidden among the reveals of Spider-Man, Ratchet & Clank, Returnal, and Horizon was a little game starring a cat in a robot-filled, neon-lit world. Stray is the first game from BlueTwelve Studio, published by Annapurrrrna Interactive for the PlayStation and PC. All the footage you see today is from my playthrough on PlayStation 5. So what is Stray? I find it hard to believe that anyone in the gaming space wouldn't know. Everywhere you look right now, people are playing it, talking about it, or showing it to their very enthusiastic cats. Stray, in the simplest terms, is an adventure game, set in an underground society full of robots. What sets this game apart from other similar adventure games is the titular Stray. You start the game out as our adorable feline hero, hanging out with your fluffy pals. Things quickly go wrong in a scene that will make every cat owner's heart sink. Because the game must go on, all is okay, and we begin the main stretch of the game, exploring the dank and dark environments of this world, untouched by the sun. The exploration mechanics feel extremely natural to me. Instead of traditional platforming, a small indicator locks to surfaces that you can jump to, and a simple press of the button gets you there without fail. This may not provide challenge like a platformer would, but it makes you feel like the agile and quick cat you are supposed to be. Interactable objects allow you to solve environmental puzzles, as well as commit all the mayhem and property damage you'd hope to as a cat. I love being able to roleplay as a cat, just destroying every carpet and door I come across. There's also a number of spots that allow the little guy to catch some shut-eye. This serves no gameplay purpose. It might be my favorite part of the game. Throughout your journey, you'll also be hunted by deadly creatures called Zerts. These tiny spider-like creatures will chase you relentlessly, moving very fast and requiring you to use your plentiful movement options to keep your distance and avoid death. Death is not particularly punishing in this. It'll just require you to replay a small segment, but it's something that every player with a soul will want to avoid, because being responsible for our adorable hero's demise is horrifically unpleasant. The central flow of the game involves navigating linear paths, looking for exits out of buildings or safe ways across rooftops, doing straightforward but satisfying puzzles all along the way. It might not do anything particularly new to shake up the adventure game format, but the character you're playing as makes a huge difference. Game feel is everything to a game like this, and BlueTwelve has absolutely nailed it here. It doesn't feel like every other third-person game, because you genuinely feel like you are playing as a little cat. One early puzzle is how you meet your closest companion, B12. B12 expands the game options a lot, as well as providing some adorable commentary. They can help to open doors, hack computers, finish small puzzles, and gather and hold items for the player. Their flashlight makes exploring dark rooms possible, and with an addition later in the game, you even have some combat options against the Zerts, though this more so complements the constant fleeing rather than replacing it. B12 also is your translator, allowing you to talk to the game's plentiful robot NPCs. Early on, you enter a small city, one where everyone is initially terrified to see you, being as you're the first organic life that they've seen. Here is where B12's translation comes in handy, allowing you to find out more about this mysterious world you've ended up in, and get an idea of where to go, both to help out the citizens and hopefully escape back to the surface. In this town, you'll be able to talk to all sorts of robot citizens, even fulfilling quests for some of them. One of my favorite parts of this game is gathering music pages from all over the place and bringing them back to guitar-wielding robot Marusk. You can enjoy whatever song you brought back to him while resting on the pillows next to him. It's one of the most endearing things I've ever seen in a game. These characters are also your main avenue for learning the story details of this world. It's very unclear why there are no humans, or even references to humans for that matter. You start to learn small bits more as you progress, and the story really blossoms as you meet and start to work with Momo, a member of the Outriders. The Outriders are a small group of robots committed to finding a way back to the surface. Obviously, things haven't gone their way, but meeting a little feline that can avoid the looming threat of Zerts seems like the exact boost they need. This journey starts you down a path to meeting tons of lovable characters that have been struggling for a long time, and you coming along helps them finally work past their low points. The story may be slightly in the background as your protagonist is silent, well, except for the meow button. Did I mention there's a meow button? What was I saying? Right, the story. Dialogue is pretty limited, and while there are some major revelations through different character scenes, the world mostly reveals itself through simply exploring, seeing the different environments, and the states that the robots live in. This game is exemplary at putting environmental storytelling first, focusing on building an atmosphere of this beat-up world. A huge part of the atmosphere here is the visual and audio design. The music is sometimes dreary, sometimes fast-paced, always very fitting, always fantastic. The game relies on long, usually quiet tones with heavy techno leaning to further emphasize the mystery of this dire and futuristic world. The visuals are also standout. The devs clearly all adored cats because the animations and visual design behind our kitty hero are super believable. This doesn't feel like a video game version of a cat, this feels like a real cat brought to life inside a video game. The graphics are very clean and polished, taking advantage of the PS5 for some incredible fidelity in the environments and lighting. The neon signs all over the game give it a very distinct visual profile, and the purely concrete and mechanical state of the entire world BlueTwelve has designed allows our cat to stand out even more. At no point does this game allow the player to zone out and the cat to blend into the environment around them. On a technical level, this game runs perfectly on PS5. The resolution is very obviously utilizing 4K, and the frame rate is never below 60 FPS. I haven't played the game on PS4, but it seems that it is still a very stable version and worth playing, despite the drawbacks. I'm not one to dwell too much on frame rate and resolution, but the game clearly utilizes this powerful hardware brilliantly, creating crisp images that awe me. I also encountered almost no glitches. It's one of those games where if a glitch killed me, it was silly enough and rare enough not to bother me at all. And as far as how the game controls, it is mostly as you would expect. The movement is responsive, and when you're on the ground, it always does what you would expect. When it comes to jumping, it was a little too common that you'd be snapping to spots that you were not anticipating. This is just a natural downside of the automated platforming, and considering the mass appeal of this game and the number of less experienced players playing it, I still do think that this was a better decision than a completely free platforming system. But I can't help but dream of a more free platformer with a cat main character. That'll just have to wait, I suppose. I've been looking forward to Stray ever since its reveal over 2 years ago. But seeing this game explode seemingly out of nowhere over the last few months, and seeing a small independent studio get such major attention and sales is always so exciting. This game took the great ideas of so many traditional games before it, applied it to a unique playable character, and in the process, created a massively appealing and incredibly memorable experience. If you're on the fence about this game, it is short and sweet, and reasonably priced as well, so I recommend it very highly. It's also included on PlayStation's new Plus Extra service, so if you have that, you can even play the game for no extra cost. It's rare that a game like this comes along, and even rarer that it makes such an enormous splash. I hope that the success of Stray allows BlueTwelve to go on to make another creatively lush game in the future, and to prove to publishers and studios that unproven wild ideas like this can be a huge success if done with this much heart. If you enjoyed what you saw today, subscribe for more in the near future. Special thanks to my best friend Ven, who's playing along with me. I recommend getting yourself a companion to play this game with as well. I'm Andrew, and this has been Andrew is Playing Stray. Thanks for watching. Bye.